Today on Comic Book Corner 2.0, we're going to talk about Sentry issue number 1. Stay tuned, fans! Hey comic book fans, welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0, and fans, you're back with me, Mike Spider Slayer, getting ready to do that all-important comic book review so you, the fans, can make a decision on what comic books to buy. And today, guys, we're talking about Sentry issue number 1. That's right, guys, he is back, and the writer is Jeff Lemire, and Kim Jacinto is the artist. So let's talk about the artwork first in this book. I loved it. I love the coloring. I like how it is this in-between dark and light type of style, and that's kind of how the Sentry is. He's a hero on one end, but he's a nightmare on the other side, and he had that nice kind of like independent feel to it. I love when Sentry gets, crazy or insane, how he rips these shadow creatures to shreds. And then I love some of the supporting cast members in here by Bobby and Jenny as well. And everything about it looked really good. So, let's talk about the story. Now, first things first, I have never been a huge Sentry fan. And I don't know that much about the particular character, okay? And he's been away for a long time. So I really didn't do too much history. I don't know too much history about him. But the beginning of this book is really awesome because the intro page goes, "But with great power comes great darkness." And it's basically the balance of the two, personalities. And Doctor Strange brought back Sentry here. So in the beginning of this book is that we get to see Bob Reynolds, and we get to see him looking at it's like this clock or whatever it is. But the next thing you wind up seeing is that he's in this Shadowverse or whatever it is, or this Pocket Verse, and he's defeating all these shadow monsters. It's from the void, and it's really awesome. It's really violent. You get to see him trying to save the Earth from these voided like creatures, and you get to see him team up with other Sentry-like characters, by the name of Bobby and Jenny, Centrist, Scout. That's their other, their code names or whatever the case may be. Really awesome. We get to see the scene on the moon, which was really cool. The moon exploded. But everything that happens in this Pocketverse, it always winds up getting fixed as long as Sentry saves the day. And so when you see him in this particular universe, he comes out of it. And what happens is he reports back to it every 24 hours to keep the Earth safe. So these monsters don't come and invade Earth. And so he goes out. He's completely different person on the outside. He's like middle-aged, old man. He's kind of overweight, out of shape. He gets up. He brushes his teeth. He goes to work. You get to see him work at this diner. And he works with the people that are in his adventures, like Billy and Jenny. And Jenny doesn't know about it, but Bobby does. And so the way Bobby sits there and vents to Scout or whatnot is he tells him everything that goes on. And we get to see him that, Billy wants to get inserted into the adventure. And he goes, he can't. It's impossible. It's like Doctor Strange created this for me, inside my mind, so I can save the universe and for me to exist in this world. And it was pretty cool to see that. And so what happens is later on we get to see Sentry on his way home, and we get to see Misty Knight, and she's about to report Bobby back to what's called the ACD, which is the Aberrant Crimes Division. And he's on this strict regimen type of schedule where he has to check in literally every day with these people, or otherwise they're going to arrest him, because they know how much it is a risk for Bob to be out in the public because he's such a wild card. But Misty, Tony, and Doctor Strange, vouch for the guy, and they want to see him somewhat live a life as long as he's saving Earth in his own means. So what happens is, since Misty Knight held him back, he had to run back to his apartment, hurry back to the device, because he's got to be there within the 24 hours or all shit can happen. And next thing you wind up finding out is that his device that he needs to check into is gone. and now everyone is freaking out. He's freaking out, and we see that there's another person that entered into this universe, killed Scout, killed the dog, killed Billy, whatever it is, they killed everybody. And we don't know who this person is. And that's how the issue ended. So what did I think about issue 1 of the Sentry? It has me really intrigued. I found this issue very interesting. And not knowing the history really of Sentry makes me want to dive deeper into his history. And I really want to continue reading this book. I found it very interesting how Stephen Strange created this universe for him to have a balance of a real life and a superhero life. And for him to survive in the real world is a lot harder for him. So really great book. I'm very interested also to see the continuing of the supporting cast in this series and how it continues to develop and what the long term is going to be for the character. Can Sentry hold his own title for a great amount of time? I don't know. That's still yet to be determined, but they did a great job in hooking me and finding out what's going to happen going forward with this series. So at the end of the day, I'm going to give this one a 4.25 out of 5 stars. So guys, now it's your turn to leave the comments below what you thought of Sentry issue number 1. Were you a fan? Were you not a fan? What was your favorite part of the book? And fans, as always, thank you so much for watching Comic Book Corner 2.0. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification button so you don't miss a single video from me. And until that next comic book review, this is Mike Spider Slayer signing off. Take care, guys. Bye.